Great. Uh, Hemlata, would you want to introduce yourself? I think we three know each other.
Yes, actually, I'm present time in Bangalore, but I'm traveling different places.
Hmm.
My work is a R&D, research and development. I'm working with women empowerment projects and rural development projects.
Hmm.
And I work within an education institution and research institution. Present, I'm thinking to start my own. And earlier, I type with the other institutions and companies also.
Hmm.
That's why I'm thinking to see the new thing.
Great. Hemlata, I noticed that you have not filled up that form, right? Oh, you have. Yes. You have. Yes.
I will check.
Great. No.
After
You
that.
have actually. Dr. Hemlata B. Kalsanavar, right?
No.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
It's really interesting because when in your brief, I read that you're a social scientist. So I was a bit
Yes.
curious because I didn't know really what that stood for. What type of projects do you do?
Mine is a multi. Well, I think you heard about in education institution, UGC,
Yeah,
AICT,
yeah.
and NITI Aayog, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, those projects.
Hmm.
And in a private research center that is in different, that is a rural development and women empowerment projects. I worked in World Bank projects also.
Great.
And I worked in education institution as a
Okay.
director.
Very interesting indeed. You both want to introduce yourselves. I think it'll get recorded also then. Rekha and Chetna.
Yeah, Chetna, you want to go first and then I can put up.
No, Rekha, you can go ahead. No issues
All
at all.
right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, so I have about 15, 16 years of experience in IT services, consulting, education, technology industries, and also media and entertainment for a couple of years there. So I own a company called Crystal Consultancy Services, right? And so what we do is we provide consulting, HR consulting, career directions, career consulting, coaching for both B2B and B2C, right? So B2B businesses like companies like consulting companies, which is like global, so say for example, A&M and things like that. Education technology companies like Simply Learn, IT services, Accenture, Infi, some pockets of Wipro. So these are things that we do in my company, but I'm also the head of people and places and also career services head for an education technology company called Springboard, right? It's a US-based education technology company. I am also involved in some of the career guidance and career coaching for NGOs, right? So I work with a couple of NGOs. I help them with their HR strategic talent development, talent management placements, and career guidance completely for the students who come from rural parts of our country. And yeah, apart from this, I get myself involved with say about 25 plus music label companies. I help the youth who are aspiring to become music directors. So I've identified and I've launched about 45 music directors in the country today, like across globally as well. So that's something that I do. Yeah. So apart from this, there are many other hobbies. I really love dancing, and I'm an athlete as well. So, and most importantly, a mother of an 8-year-old son. So that
Oh,
keeps
wow.
me up on my
Wonderful.
toes, right? So these
Very
are things that
interesting.
keep me up on toes. Yeah. Thank you so much for this.
No,
So over to you, Chetna.
very nice to see all of you, you know. Hmm. Chetna?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So I'm Chetna. So I think youngest in terms of experience, but I think from what I've gained, I've been working as an educator since 2012. So started as a passion, and I think I've been taking it along for so long. And Corona, of course, I think changed my mindset. So from a full-time educator who had to stick to very specific things, I think I took that leap to come down to freelancing just to not say restricted to a few topics or a few set of students, but go out as much as you can in terms of the the range of people and the range of topics that can be delivered. So I've been conducting a couple of sessions, couple of workshops since I think June 2021. So very recently that I started working as a freelancer, and I mean, when I think Rekha said that she's mother of 8, I almost got reminded of the last workshop that I had. And, it was the first time I had mothers log in to the workshop, because it was kind of very centered around, something that they were interested in. So yes, I think that way it's given me a good platform to get, like that, you're only restricted to students of 18, 19, 20-year-olds. But with these workshops, I think I've got the chance to interact with a lot of people working in the companies. I think mothers, irrelevant, I mean, irrespective of what walk of life you're coming from, I've had people join in, and it's very nice. It's always good to interact. And I think when Subhashini mentioned career, I think it just kind of I mean, it's obviously something. And because I come from a background in psychology, I think that's a very core element of something that we always try to do, that you don't just run about something that everyone's running behind, but you run behind what's your calling. So I think that's a very core element of career, or the opportunities you take up, and how they take you in life. So the wrong choices and the right choices that make you. So yes, I think that's majorly been about me. I've been in Bangalore for the last 5 years, and I've lived in different parts of this country, educated in almost 3 different states. So I've gained a lot of experience from there as well. But yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to this. When I just accidentally happened to speak to someone, and she told me about this initiative, I think I was extremely happy. And because I don't come from Bangalore, I always saw this as a limitation, because I had a very restricted window of the number of people I knew. So I think with this platform, it's going to be extremely enriching for me, and I am hoping in whatever best way I can contribute. So yes, I think that's majorly about me. So thank you for having me, and I'm really looking forward to making a change, bringing a change. So yes, thank you.
Great. So I think I'll go next. I'm Subhashini. I come with about 21 years of experience. The first 10 years I was working in analytics in banking and financial services. So I started working in 2002. And from campus, I read GE, and GE was one of the forerunners in this space. They're the guys who sort of brought it on the real time into India. So you find a lot of people who head these units to be ex-GE or some GE back. So I was last with Citibank handling Europe and Middle East for analytics. And then, my second kid was underway. So I quit, and I spent that time writing a book which is published in the US. It's called Learning Business Analytics in 6 Steps using SAS and R. You'll find it on Amazon and Flipkart. And then I set up analytics courses for Jigsaw Academy, Manipal Academy, Symbiosis, and the like. In 2017, what was one of the things which had been a huge sore point. So I was also part of the Tata Group Emerging Leadership Program. And that was prior to my city experience. And that time I had first time got introduced to psychometric assessments. Okay. Because in technical, you ended up always having some technical assessment, but it was never and there were a few things, then when we were trying to grow our own teams, it took, I remember in the first 2 people in my team, I took 52 interviews to get 2 guys. And this was despite the fact that the HR was a really good friend of mine. She did so much to try to source resumes, get the right fit and stuff. So what I realized is that there is, given that each one of us knows certain careers well, there is no such direction which can see, psychometry tells you what type of person it is, but it hardly ever tracks in with the type of job you'll do well. It becomes more like a profile, and the profile ends up, you have successful people in all profiles, right? So we created PEXI test with the thought that can we put together the sequence of already accepted psychometric and skill assessments, and create a funnel of tests which will enable us to answer questions. So today you can see us on pexitest.com, and we are very pertinently, we answer only 5 questions. Hiring right for fitment and TAT. Secondly, high potential identification, learning needs identification, early leadership identification, and productivity through engagement and 360 surveys. So only these 5 things we were doing. Now, as we went on and created a database, what became, and of course, as my children reached teenage, I started understanding that as a parent, I'm insufficient to guide them because unfortunately or fortunately, my elder one is not interested in maths. I mean, I had to actually put her through maths tuition because I just couldn't. I mean, I teach people, and I can't teach my child. At least it wasn't getting through to her, despite her best intention, my best intention. So I realized that if this must be a struggle with a lot of parents with our best intentions. We know limited number of careers. You can say the knowledge circle knows a bit more. Maybe the friend circles knows a bit more. But how do you sort of point children to the right direction? And that led to the genesis of career graph in that sense. So I do the analytics backend of career graph. There's a machine learning algorithm at the back which updates as people take tests to ensure that the benchmark never goes out of I mean, it's not an old benchmark, it's never dated, it's the most recent today. What is the employability standard? My colleague Ruben, he is actually the psychometry guy, and he is the person who will train us on the product. But the thought for it's like a very personal journey for me because I realized my inability, and I realized also my parents' inability when they tried to just tell me do whatever you like, So they left the preference because they didn't want to put pressure. So they didn't try to guide, but I missed out some parts where I was very good. Like I moved to analytics because a boss told me. He, when I joined, and he had also seen me during my summers, so he was able to observe me and he told me, why don't you try this? But my parents could not figure that out. And I, with whatever I understood, I was so enamored. I come from Ranchi, and I was so enamored by this advertisement world. I wanted to come to Bombay to join advertising. I got my internship at Ogilvy and Mather, and I was so disappointed because I felt everyone is so shallow, not, I just didn't fit in. I didn't enjoy it. Finished the internship, and then I was like, I don't know what to do because I came to Bombay. I left some good colleges. I had got through a couple of other colleges. I didn't take them. I came here only to find that it's just not. So that's all is my personal interest in this. So I've been studying this space for some time, and if it's okay with you, should I just start a small 3-slide presentation I put together?
Yes, please. Please.
Please keep it open and free flow. Whatever comes to your mind, please just I mean, ask questions, or please, if you can contribute to it, I'll be very happy. So let me just pull that up. Let me know if you can see it, please. Huh?
Yeah, your screen is visible.
So this is actually the status today that India's primary education. See, we are looking at this window, this cohort of focus, right? Which is 2020 to 2040. And if you look at this graph here, what you find is that India's primary education intake has started going down from 2021, actually. If you were to see the economic survey of India. But what is happening, all these guys which the government and everyone has made a lot of effort to put through primary are moving into this part, which is the higher education and moving into having to work. Okay. And this other piece of information is that in up to 2011 to 15, we had only 8.5% graduates in India. Okay. But this number has doubled in the last 10 years. So again, there has been a huge, parents, as the improvement in economic condition has happened, parents have, and the reduction in number of kids, parents have pushed towards the children's education. Okay. Of course, the ease of getting through is also there. So what we are saying is the working age population will grow roughly by 9.7 million per year during 2021 to 31 and 4.2 million per year in 2031 to 41. Okay, so I just want you to just you know I want us all to feel that we are and understand that we are working on actually something which is a very critical need of the hour. Okay, that there is a huge set of people who are being pushed towards getting themselves more educated, etc., all led by this smartphone revolution in a large way during COVID, which has led to the internet penetration also everywhere, especially in the south. Even in the villages you have very good internet lines, and I know too that for north also, at least tier 2 tier 3 cities are doing well. So what we are talking about is this. Any comments here, like anything you all want to add?
I think fairly relevant because I mean, this is the age we are asking or we are wanting to them to be independent, and on the contrary, I think a lot of them are actually becoming dependents more than independent because of you know lack of clarity or even awareness about the possible options available. So one sort of occupation is having a lot of cluster, and there are so many more unexplored avenues that can be good options for them to pick up. So I think
Yes.
this is, I think, a very relevant bulge which is going to be there for a couple of years, where you have a lot of people
Couple of
who are
decades.
employable, but who are employable, but they are still, I mean, there's still one segment who's stuck on the the old school jobs, that this is the only thing that you can go ahead in, because they're not aware about all the other possibilities and avenues which are open.
Yeah, and where they'll fit. So what we are saying is that, and this is the latest, okay, by UNICEF, which says that in India, the percentage after 12th pass, right? If you look at it, there's a huge number of children at that age. But the percentage of skilled youth whom you can put into some reasonably decent, work is very low. Actually, even Bangladesh has more than us. Okay. In fact, I went to the Skill India portal, which is the portal that the government has set up for vocational training.
Yes.
1 crore people every year, they are training there. What I find is that there again, if I want to apply, it's all related to my preference. And, as a 16-year-old, 18-year-old, 20-year-old, where I don't even know my options, my preference is not, it is not objective, right? So,
Absolutely.
yes. So this is what has happened in 2022. That this whole skills mission, is struggling with 20% placement rate. Okay, nobody is happy. The guys who came into it, or they've been bribed into it. So I know I'm sure you know this, that the government actually gives money out for counselors to reach out to villages and smaller areas and get people to join into the get training in life skills. I know even in my village in Jharkhand, ladies get trained on, stitching or other vocational things. Guys get trained on beekeeping and multiple things. But they are just not, and in fact, the government has also put up that if a industry does apprenticeship for anybody, they pay that industry money as an incentive for taking an apprentice. Okay, but despite all this, this is the problem. Okay, so where we are saying is that we want to be able to show things at two places, that the right training stage, we should be able to help people across things, even vocation, or to maybe graduates and postgraduate formal jobs, right? But all of them, we should be able to guide them as per their needs, and which is a combination of preference plus capability. It should not be only preference nor only capability. So there are examples of only capability also. Can you suggest or think of one or two examples which come to your mind when it comes to only capability driven suggestions? Uh, Hello?
I can think of, for example, if you're looking at capability driven or skilled driven or fast. Okay, there actually I have another thought. One step even taking back is one, identifying the right talent on what is their strength areas and moving them to, those kind of
Yeah.
um, career path is one. Second is the availability of the placement rate that you spoke about, right? Like the
Yes.
availability of jobs for those potential people that we have identified, right? So the two parts to the statement that you made.
Yes.
I when you spoke about capability and skill training and things like that, I remember NTTF, who is Karnataka based, right? And they kind of train people on skilled labor so that they place these skilled people into those jobs, right? Because it's like for jobs, you get them trained. It's not like you
Yes.
study some course, then you figure out how your career is going and things like
Going
that. So,
exactly.
so
So
yeah, so
exactly.
two parts is what you could think. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what you're saying is absolutely right. And here I have put up, you can see that even the freshers, there's a huge segment which wants to quit in their first year, and this is from LinkedIn. So even if you're telling that maybe Subhashini things are better for the graduate crowd, it's not. The graduate, postgraduate crowd also is not happy. Okay. And there again, it seems to stem from these two things. Because if you're complaining of poor work-life balance and greater career ambitions, you're saying my preference and capability is not taken into account. See, you can crib about not enough money. That is something which is okay because that's what the industry is paying. Even if I like the job, but it's not paying me enough money. But if you're cribbing out these two things and find these two things so suffocating, then definitely there is something amiss in that fitment part. So yeah, so I just wanted to share this as a thought that this is the backdrop in which I am hoping that with hi Sunanda.
Uh, Hi, good afternoon. It was there in my mind that I have to attend, and somehow it overlapped with other meetings, so I got it.
Don't worry at all. I'm going to be loading this into I was just discussing. I think it's better to load it into a YouTube channel also. So, and share out the link so that people can even know a few of us, even if we cannot, again log in tomorrow. But tomorrow again at 12 for half an hour, we'll do a meet and greet for anybody who can log in. That would be nice to just know each other. That's what we thought. I will definitely load this, and I was just wanting all of us to have that stats in the back of the mind that this is why we should look at it not as an as I mean everyone else is looking at it as optional. I know in colleges they have one career guidance counselor, and for NAC accreditation they just tout that we have career guidance. I know that when AMCAT goes to college, he's only trying to pick up for the employer. They're not interested in career guidance, though they have an
Absolutely.
employability skill. But when the DEA goes, they are not interested in getting them jobs. We had gone and met the vice chancellor of a university, and he said it's not my responsibility if the kids get placed. So it is either one of this is happening.
What is there? What is
It's a
there?
career guidance forum. You can see it. I really like the few things they do. It's a Ayurvedic based, and they also are thinking of. They have a set of mentors. In fact, it's a 10-year plus forum. But again, there,
Done by Anand.
yeah, I think
Done
so.
by Anand and Narayan.
Yes. So, but their capability stops at the point that we are guiding and there are mentors, but it is not going to. There's no direct link. And my view is, if I'm guiding, I should at least have reasonable responsibility that it will lead to a career, right? It cannot be that I'm guiding and then mera kaam ho gaya. I
Yeah.
don't know where it goes.
Now, there's this very good term that we usually, talk about in terms of student career fit. And we are not touching that. We are not going to are these students at all fit for those careers. We are like, haath dho lo, ki haan, theek hai. We've just kind of, told them these are your options. And now again, the ball is in your court, where the child has absolutely no idea about, what do they even mean, or do they even fit for, the roles that have been suggested to them. So I
Yeah.
think that's the core area that needs,
So, what I think will be the next step from my side, in case you don't log in tomorrow, I'm just sharing it. Next week, I'll try to get Ruben to do a couple of sessions for all of us so that we can sample out the tool. We try it out and feel comfortable. And also, it will give you, I mean, see, because one challenge which I personally face is sometimes it gives me some careers which I don't know much about, especially when it comes to arts driven careers, I don't know much about them. Uh, additionally, we should feel comfortable to sort of reach out to each other or the internet to see what that really means if it comes out for the students. Okay, so we should have a process in mind because system wise, it will track a kid against 800 careers and give you 10, 12 roles and 2, 3 industries where the child will do well. So, we'll have to just figure out the process that we can do it and then figure out events we can do around this, which benefit. And as I said, it's a plug and play model. Even if you or I want to input it into our websites or LinkedIn profile saying that, you can reach us here or something, we should be able to do it. But this is just the start of the journey. So, I'm sure things will develop slowly. And I'm counting in all of your support and passion to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start there because I'm really curious to see how this drives into that picture of translating into industries, roles, and things like that. That mapping
Yes.
is something that I'm very, very interested to see as a coach
Yes.
by myself, right?
Yes.
And that is
Yes.
what. So
And
it'll be
All
interesting.
of you are from there, or what is it?
Yeah,
no,
I am from India, Bangalore. Sorry, did she
All
ask
of you
India?
are.
I heard that too.
no, there is an example, Sunanda. I'm just telling that you have two parts. They are the
Yeah,
career guidance guys who never take responsibility for the placements. They're the placement guys like an AMCAT or an SHL who never take responsibility for career guidance, right? They are only
Okay,
measuring
Subhashini,
capability.
yeah, 1 minute. Uh, why I asked you this question is because I wanted to understand what is the entire objective of this discussion. Maybe I missed it out the initial part of it. Could you
Yes,
please?
maybe. We are just trying to get, so we are all part of the career directions, and you have also filled up the form from Delhi. So Sunanda is from Delhi. And, we are just trying to set the context that what is the, in like, I've been very keen and I've approached Dr. Rai and Mr. Rai saying we should put up direction, career guidance under WICCI, etc. So I was just trying to set the context that the thought should be that we should in a very responsible way go with this where the process I'm proposing is that we have a tool measurement metric for metrics, then we should be able to guide children across three segments. So not only vocational training, stream selection if they are in 11th, 12th and looking at next level, and finally job placements. So we should be able to cover the whole thing for them if required, not and therefore when we are suggesting careers, it should be on the basis of their preferences plus their capabilities, right? So for this, as I was mentioning, I've tied up with this colleague who's come up with this engine. I handle the backend machine learning part to it, which is called Career Graph. And next week, I'll get him to do a few trainings for all of us so we can use it for the diagnostics. Okay. And then for the interpretation, etc., we can work on it. I think only after that, each of us can come up with a concrete plan for ourselves, saying, in my area, I want to do this, or this is something I want to do. I want to do it online. I want to do it offline. I want to do it with NGO. I want to do it with government. I want to do it with companies. Because I have worked with all three segments, and it's, I mean, I know that you can also decide to do all three together to have a mix of, if you want to call it your portfolio mix. So with this, I'll log off now. I think we've overshot our half an hour, and I look forward to again catching up tomorrow in case you also want to log in. Else I'll anyway load this, and tomorrow's session also I'll load, so you'll be able to see a few more people in this group. So Nanda,
Okay.
I'll call you personally also.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to say, that
Yeah.
let me connect with you personally because I have some limitations with my present capacity, so I do not want to overcommit on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. We absolutely, as I said, we're open and we should be open to any of these. What works for us and what works, for everyone. So that's the aim. Hmm?
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you, Chetna, Rekha, and
All right. Yes. Thank you.
Nice
Thank you.
meeting you, Sunanda.
okay.
Thank you,
Bye.
Subhashini. Looking forward.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Lovely talking to all of you. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So any of you attending the meeting today in Bangalore? The other one that was come up? No, right?
No.